Hey, what's up, everybody? So I want to react to the Browns versus Pittsburgh Steeler Miles Garrett versus Mason Rudolph situation. I saw it last night on Facebook. I was just scrolling around. I don't really watch football like that. It's not a sport I'm very passionate about right now. But I did get a chance to see that replay like right after it happened. So though I wasn't watching the game, people were posting right away, and in real time, pretty much, I got the chance to see it, watched it several times, and there were some things that I didn't see the first couple of times that I watched it that I was able to see uh, upon further reviewing it. And I'll tell you, man, it looks bad for Mason Rudolph and Miles Garrett. I'm not going to say Miles Garrett was justified in what he did, because he was absolutely not, but there were some things going on in that scrum that led to why that took place. Um, Mason first, he was getting tackled. Who knows how that stuff leads up? You watch football, you watch basketball, these sports, you know things happen throughout the game. Guys say things to each other throughout the game that lead up to why people snap. But I did see in a still that Mason did try to kick this man in the crouch. He tried to kick Miles Garrett in the crouch while they were in that scrum. And he tried to pull off his helmet before Miles was able to reach for his. So I take that into account. I start with that because I think that that's something that isn't going to be said very often. With that being said, you know, Mason decided after getting his helmet snatched off to rush at this lineman, to rush at this dude, like to try to, fight, be aggressive in the situation. And in defense of being rushed at, Miles used the helmet that he snatched off Mason's head and swung it at him. So that's the perspective I wanted to come here and say. I'm not coming to the defense of Miles Garrett, but what I am saying is some could argue that Miles Garrett was defending himself. And if this goes to court, that is definitely going to be something they bring up. So while everyone else is talking about what Mason endured in getting hit, someone needs to talk about what Miles was probably reacting to when he swung. And I'm willing to do that. However, when it comes to suspensions, Miles gonna have to be gone for a while, man. He's got to be gone for a while. This is something that we've never seen before. As I was listening to Skip Bayless say, I'm not coming up with this on my own. I've been listening to the responses to the regular talking heads, and I do agree. You got to suspend Miles Garrett for this, and you got to suspend him for a lot of games. He definitely isn't coming back for the rest of this season, but you can't probably bring him back for maybe the first three games of next season. I heard people say 6 games of next season. That might be a little more than what I would do, but I suspend him for the rest of the season, and I'm giving him 3 of the next. And the reason why is because it went from a scrum where football players can push around. I've seen guys slap each other around with the helmets on. I've even seen guys punch each other. But when you take a helmet that's meant to protect someone's head and you hit them with it on the head, what you're doing is weaponizing something. You're using a deadly weapon at that point. And we've seen situations where guys have swung with a lot of force, done things like this, but it doesn't connect. And that's taken into account. But for this situation, he did connect. And fortunately enough, Mason took the hit, and it didn't hurt him in ways that it could have. He could have been knocked out. He could have been killed. He could have been his head could have been split open. This could have been a very, very, very scary situation that, all intent and purposes, turned out the right way for Mason in regards to being hit. Excuse me, got a plane flying over. I live very close to LAX, but nevertheless, the suspensions have to be harsh. What you essentially want to do is make sure that this never happens again. You want to, the officials in the NFL don't want guys to think that, okay, well, I can do this and only take a couple dollars off of my account and maybe miss a couple games, and I'll come right back. No, you want them to be afraid of doing this. You want them to be able to think in moments of extreme rage. You want them to be able to catch themselves. You know what I'm saying? Or at least understand that if they do not control themselves in this way, that it's going to be so severe that it's going to be ridiculous. So my thing is suspend him for the rest of the season plus 3 games, and whatever the appropriate dollar amount would be, you snatch that from him as well. There will be some other suspensions as well. The guy that pushed Miles Garrett to the ground, I don't know his name. After his helmet was snatched off this dude, and after he was hit, this dude pushed him in the back. He's probably gonna get a game. I wouldn't get Pouncey. I know people are saying Pouncey shouldn't have kicked him in the head, kicked Miles Garrett in the head. He shouldn't have. I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I think that Pouncey did exactly what he should have done. When you see your quarterback getting assaulted like that on some greater than football stuff, just like Pouncey said, this is bigger than football at that point. It's just about making sure you protect your teammate, protect somebody that you work with and may care about. You don't. It becomes a street fight. Once you turn into a deadly weapon, we ain't talking about football no more. So I'm sure whatever suspensions he endures, I'm sure he'll be willing to take, and he would do it all over again. He's not losing no respect here from me. I would appreciate that if I were Mason Rudolph to know that Pouncey got your back to that degree, to know that your guys are gonna hold you down, whether it's in football or outside of it, because that's basically it became something else. This is outside of football. That was a street fight, and Pouncey punched and kicked, and yeah, I would have wanted my lineman to do the exact same thing, and that's all there is to it. So I don't think Pouncey should be suspended at all, personally, not at all. That was bad, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was bad. I do think Mason could have avoided that himself by not reacting the way that he did. I don't know what was said. I would imagine some things were said between those two, not only in that play, but probably the previous plays, and maybe even throughout the rivalry, that have taken place with those players and those teams. So I'm pretty sure that was a big rivalry, obviously. So we know that there's no love lost between those two teams historically. So all of this just led to a very, very terrible situation, and just very thankful that when it did connect, it didn't do more damage. So yeah, suspension should be looming, fines will be looming, and that's my reaction to it. Thanks for watching. My name is BDF44. Peace.